Hello everyone, welcome to this video on introduction to Python programming. In this video we will look at these 5 important points: what is a program, what is programming language, brief about Python programming, brief history of Python, and features of Python programming language. So let us look at this first situation. Adya and Ajay are talking, they are talking in English, and Adya is asking Ajay to add two numbers 4 and 6. So Ajay adds these two numbers and tells the answer 10 to the Adya. Now they are talking in English. As both the persons know English and hence they can communicate this way, right? So here the medium of communication is English and hence they are both are able to communicate. Now look at the second situation where Adya is telling computer to add two numbers. Do you think that computer will be able to perform addition of 4 and 6? No, but obviously no. The reason is computer do not know the English language, right? And hence the computer cannot perform this addition. So what is required? It requires a medium of communication, and that medium of communication is nothing but computer programming language. So computer programming language is a medium of communication between human and a computer, so that human can communicate with the computer and get the work done. Now let us try to understand the problem of adding two numbers in little bit detail, right? So how the communication takes place? So the Adya gives two numbers, number 1 and number 2, to Ajay, and Ajay adds these two numbers and find the sum by adding the two numbers, number 1 and number 2. Then Ajay gives the answer sum to the Adya, right? Now these steps can be represented in algorithmic form like this. Give two numbers, number 1 and number 2, add them by doing sum is equal to number 1 plus number 2, then display or print the sum, and the same algorithmic step can be represented like this. So this is how, if any simplest problem is given, simplest or complex problem is given, right, then we can represent that steps in this form and can be represented using a flowchart like this. Fine. So now these same steps are over here, and that same steps are converted into Python program like this one. Number 1 is equal to 4, number 2 is equal to 6, and sum is equal to sum plus number 1 plus number 2, and print the sum. So this is how the complete algorithm is converted. Algorithmic steps are converted into a Python program like this. Now if Adya gives these steps to the computer, then computer can easily understand, right, because now these are the Python programming language steps. Program is a medium of communication between Adya and computer, and hence computer can perform the task. These are the simple numbers, so small numbers, but Adya can give any very large numbers, and the computer can perform addition of any large numbers. And same way any mathematical operations can be performed by giving instructions to computer. The reason is there is a medium of communication called Python programming language, and hence it can perform whatever task required by the Adya or any human being. So now let us define what is a Python program, or what is a program in general. So a program is a set of organized and well structured instructions to perform some particular task, and this task is performed using just 4 instructions, right? Over here just try to understand, it is a set of instructions. Set means unique instructions are there. Here not a single instruction is repeated. And next word is organized and well structured, means the first instruction cannot be written at the end, or the third instruction cannot be written at the start. They must be in some specific sequence like this two first, then sum, then this print message, right? And these are performing some particular task. Same way we may have some other tasks to perform. So this is how we can define a Python program. Now once Python program is defined, let us look at the formal definition of programming language or a Python programming language. So a programming language is a formal language comprising a set of instructions to write program to perform specific tasks. Now here we can see that these are the 4 instructions. Number 1 is equal to 4, number 2 is equal to 6, sum is equal to, third instruction is sum is equal to number plus number 2, and fourth instruction is print sum. So this way programming languages have this kind of instructions to perform specific tasks. Here the specific task is addition of numbers. So if we can have instructions for reading of data from file, reading of data from keyboard, writing of data to the screen, writing of data to the file. Same way, depending on applications, we have different instructions. So these instructions are used for writing programs, and that forms the part of programming language. So this is how we can define a programming language formally. Now let me tell you brief about Python. So Python is a general purpose programming language, and also it is a high level programming language. General purpose programming language means it can be used for mobile app development, it can be used for web development, desktop application development, network application development, email server. You take any application, you can use Python programming for machine learning, data science, and hence it is referred to as a general purpose programming language. This programming language is simple as well, easy to learn, and yet very powerful programming language, and more focus is given on code readability and simplicity, which helps programmers to develop applications very fast. And it is an ideal language for scripting and fast application development due to its elegant syntax, dynamic typing, and interpreted nature. Let us look at the history of Python programming language. So Python language was created by Guido van Rossum at National Research Institute of Mathematics and Computer Science, Netherlands, in early 90s. It is a successor of language called ABC, and the name Python is given after the Monty Python's Flying Circus, a television show, and not after the snake Python. Now let us look at the features of Python programming language. The very first feature of Python programming language is Python programming language is very easy to learn. Means one can understand the syntax of language without much difficulty. The next feature of Python programming language is it is easy to learn. Means program development becomes easy due to its simple, easy syntax and elegant program structure. Even a school student can easily learn, understand and learn Python programming language, and that is why we say that it is simple and easy to learn. Next feature of Python programming language is it is a high level programming language. Now let us look at this image on the left hand side. Here we can see the binary numbers are given 101010. These are the binary numbers, right? So these are the instructions which are given to the computer, right? And these are the binary instructions, or we can say machine level instructions, and these are also referred to as a low level instructions which machine can understand but humans cannot understand. On the right side of this, here we are symbolic instructions are there. Sales underscore price is equal to 1.6. If sales underscore price is greater than 0, discount is 0.1, else discount is 5. These instructions can be easily understood by humans, but the computer cannot easily understand unless and until these instructions are converted into the machine level binary instructions like this. So the low level languages contains instructions in binary form, and high level languages consist of instructions in symbolic terms or English like words. So the language has English like words like print, write, read, open, etc. in its syntax, which people can easily understand. So this is referred to as a high level language, where the language which contains binary instructions are referred to as a machine level or low level programming language. The next feature is open source. We all know that Linux, Ubuntu, Android, OpenOffice, Word, Magento, all these are frameworks, tools and operating system which are open source. Open source means everyone can read, use, modify Python software, code and material available at python.org free of charge without any payment, and this way Python is a open source programming language. The next feature of Python programming language is it is a dynamically typed programming language. Here on left side we can see that a person is doing some work on laptop by sitting on a chair and a table, right? And on right side the person is doing some work by moving, right? He is walking or running, and he is also able to do the work. Now the important point to understand from this is variables need not to be declared. We can directly use variables, and type checking is done dynamically at runtime. Means the type of data of variables is determined at runtime, whether it is a integer variable, float variable, string variable, list variable, array variable. This type of a variable is determined at runtime. The next feature of Python is it is a platform independent language. Platform independent language means the program developed on one computer, right, Windows computer, can be executed on a other computer which has other operating system like Apple or Linux. So this is what the meaning of platform independent. Now the next important feature of Python is modular programming. Means a program can be broken down into small modules and can be reused in other programs or other projects and applications. Here we can see that a complete program is divided into two modules, module 1 and module 2, and module 1 consists of functions as well as classes, and module 2 is also consists of some functions. So this way the large application is divided into multiple modules, and hence these modules can be used in some other application. Means we can develop other application faster because already some modules are already developed, and hence this way the modular programming helps in developing application faster. And most important feature of Python programming is it is an object oriented programming language. Object oriented programming language means every real world entity like person, car, rectangle, lion, city, etc. can be represented as a object. Here we can see that cars are there. So car has a car model, car color, car brand, and the methods or functions that this cars can have. Car has a speed, car has a size, right? So we can define a class within object oriented programming, that is a Python, right? And that class works as a blueprint, and individual objects like Audi, Nissan, Volvo can be created from this class. And same way we can represent this person, patient, and physician object in terms of the class and object in object oriented programming. We have a dedicated sections for modular programming and object oriented programming. We will learn in detail what is a modular programming and object oriented programming feature in detail, in depth in these particular sections. Now the next feature of Python programming language is it is an interpreted programming language. So what is the meaning of interpreted programming language? So Python program does not require compilation and linking. The instructions are directly interpreted and executed interactively, which makes it easy to experiment. Now here look at these two images. So let us take an example of C language. So a C is a compiler based language or compiled language. So source code or a program of C language is given to compiler. It compiles and generates machine code, and then that machine code is executed, then it gives the output. But the Python programming language, which is an interpreted language, right, the source code or a program is given to interpreter. It interpret the instructions and execute the program and generate the output. So this is the difference between compiler based language and interpreted language. The next feature of Python is it's a extensible programming language. Now what is the meaning of extensible Python programming language? Means we can write our own functions or module either to perform critical operations at maximum speed, and we can add it to Python libraries. For example, here two modules are there, module 1 and module 2, right, and we can add these modules in Python standard library. So this way we can extend the functionality of Python library by adding our own modules. So that is what the meaning of Python is a extensible programming language. So this is all about the features of Python programming language and introduction to Python programming. Thank you so much. Have a great time.